Good morning, everyone, and welcome on the eve of the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 49 in Phoenix. The Seattle Seahawks getting set to take on the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 49. Uh, we'll talk about the NFL awards program in a little bit more in detail. The MVP award comes out tonight. Aaron Rodgers versus J.J. Watt. We'll also discuss the 2015 Hall of Fame class. Former Packers general manager Ron Wolf is one of 17 finalists for the Hall of Fame class for induction into the 2015 Pro Football Hall of Fame, and we'll talk in detail about that. Real briefly on the Super Bowl, it's been hashed over and talked about all week long. One injury update: Cam Chancellor left the practice field yesterday. Very much near the end of practice, hurt his knee and was not able to return. He left, and the Seahawks are listing him as questionable for Sunday evening's Super Bowl matchup against the Patriots. I still like Seattle. I think they're the NFC has been a better conference than the AFC this year. I think Seattle is the best team in the National Football League. I think their defense is clearly the best defensive football team in the National Football League. I don't think this one is going to be a blowout like it was a year ago, though. I think the Seahawks will prevail. I'll take Seattle to win 23-17 over the Patriots. Now, the AP NFL MVP award is handed out tonight. It's the big daddy of the MVP awards, the Pro Football Writers Association MVP went to Aaron Rodgers, and usually that is a precursor for what happens with the overall MVP award. I think this one could be a little closer, though. The first one, 48 of the 84 votes went to Aaron Rodgers by the Pro Football Writers. Many of those writers still vote in the AP award as well, but there are some different voters, and I think Aaron Rodgers will still win this. But J.J. Watt is going to make this thing a little closer. Remarkable season, 21 and a half sacks, 5 touchdowns, 3 of those on the offensive end. J.J. Watt had a heck of a season, and in different scenarios, I think J.J. Watt would have a chance to win. But I think the difference maker here in terms of who's voting for this award is many people will take the person that has, if there's a deciding factor, maybe perhaps a tiebreaker. I'm not suggesting that this would be my tiebreaker, but the individual whose team is in the playoffs. Clearly, Aaron Rodgers has meant so much to the Green Bay Packers. He had a remarkable season, best passing quarterback in the National Football League, and the Packers made it to the NFC Championship game. No question what J.J. Watt means to the Houston Texans, but the Houston Texans did not make the playoffs. They really weren't even that close. J.J. Watt with a remarkable year. He'll get more votes. This will be a little closer than what the Pro Football Writers voting was, but in the end, I believe Aaron Rodgers tonight will be crowned the NFL's MVP for the second time in his career. Now, on to the 2015 Hall of Fame class. 17 members are finalists. Ron Wolf, the former Packers general manager, is on that list and stands a decent chance of securing 80% of the vote from the 44 sports writers and 2 broadcasters that have selections in this process. Ron Wolf, what did he mean to the Green Bay Packers? Well, basically, he took a sinking ship and turned it around and made it float again. And then went on to bigger and better things. 1991, he took over. It was an organization that was in turmoil. It was bad news. They didn't know how to win. And it was just an incredible proclamation. It basically a reclamation project. I said proclamation. It was an amazing turnaround for Ron Wolf. He went out and hired Mike Holmgren to be the Packers head football coach. That was the start of things, besides Wolf himself. They then went and traded a first-round draft pick to Atlanta to get Brett Favre. Some questioned that move early on. Certainly nobody's questioning that move now. And then convinced Reggie White to come to Green Bay in free agency. Those were the 4 cornerstones. It was Wolf, Holmgren, Favre, and Reggie White. Of course, it all started with the wisdom, the foresight by then general manager Ron Wolf. And eventually by 1996, the Packers went to and won the Super Bowl. They would go back a year later and fall short against the Denver Broncos from winning back-to-back Super Bowls. But the Packers did get there twice during the Wolf era. Once they won it back in 1996. He basically changed the culture in Green Bay from a losing organization to a winning organization, and it's been that way ever since. In fact, the model that Ron Wolf has put forth in the way he does things, even though he dabbled in free agency and clearly hit home on a couple of them, Reggie White being the biggest one. But he set the pattern for scouting, development, player development, building through the draft, and that formula has been followed ever since by Ted Thompson here in Green Bay. But some of the people that worked under not only Wolf but also under Thompson have gone on to bigger and better things as well. As general manager John Schneider will be one of those in the Super Bowl for Seattle. He helped Seattle win it last year, trying to help Seattle win back-to-back Super Bowls. They've followed the Ron Wolf plan, and it's difficult to find people out there that have not shared some sort of success by doing so. It's been the plan in Green Bay, and it'll probably be the plan in Green Bay for many, many years to come. The Journal-Sentinel's Bob McGinn had this stat. In the 24 years before Wolf's arrival, the Packers had 5 winning seasons, 2 playoff berths, 1 division title, and a .422 winning percentage. In the 23 years since Wolf's arrival, the Packers have had 19 winning seasons, 17 playoff berths, 11 division titles, and a .619 winning percentage. He set the bar. He set it high. He developed the model for success, and it's been all Green Bay Packers ever since. Even in a Wolf's motto was this: even when we have to slightly rebuild in a down year, we don't want to be below 500. It's really been that way. And I think Packers fans, as much as they hate a 500 season and not making the playoffs, the Packers have been pretty remarkable at putting up some astonishing numbers in terms of that. And you can bet that a down year at 8-8 or 9-7 is a lot better than 4-12 or 3-13. The Packers haven't had to undergo that since Ron Wolf took over, and it's been certainly a breath of fresh air, something that perhaps we all take for granted a little bit here in Green Bay. As far as team news, the Packers, no surprise, they fire Sean Slocum as the special teams coach on Friday. Who will take over? The Packers, probably a good chance they're going to bring somebody from outside in, but keep in mind Ron Zook was the special teams assistant. He was not fired in that move that Sean Slocum was let go yesterday. So that'll do it for our Packers update. The NFL honors coming tonight. We'll have more on that, plus the Super Bowl on Monday morning.